Tom Brady just ripped Kevin Stefanski to shreds on live TV, calling the Browns' decision to ignore Shedeur Sanders before the Jets game one of the dumbest coaching moves of the season. And when Brady started comparing Shedeur's talent to rookie Tom Brady himself, the entire NFL world stopped scrolling.
Hit the like button, whatever it is, because we got everything y'all need, man. Listen, and what you ain't looking for, you gonna be looking for it then.
Subscribe or Debo gonna whoop your ass.
Let's go on over to the Browns. Your boy Kevin Stefanski says he isn't thinking about playing Shedeur. He said that is not what he's focused on. He focused on right now. He's not thinking about playing Shedeur. What do you think about that, bro?
Before I go, I want to ask you a question, Debo. What do you feel about that? Because I want to get your honest, genuine opinion, non-biased, and just you go ahead and let me know how you feel if the Browns coach Stefanski isn't trying to play. What do you think when he says this?
So I can see both sides when I'm not invested into it.
Yes.
So the Browns, I can see both sides when I'm not invested into it. So I can see you got a young quarterback, right? You want to make sure you give him enough time to try and develop into whatever it is you think he can develop in, because you picked him in the second round for a reason.
Tom Brady just went off on Kevin Stefanski, and the Browns head coach might want to hide after this one. After Stefanski told reporters he's not even thinking about playing Shedeur Sanders despite Dylan Gabriel's catastrophic 25.8 QBR through 4 starts, Brady didn't hold back, basically calling out the ego-driven decision-making that's destroying Cleveland from the inside. But here's where this story gets absolutely insane. This isn't even Stefanski's quarterback. Sources inside the Browns facility are revealing that GM Andrew Berry stuck his neck out to draft Shedeur in the 5th round. And now Stefanski's treating him like he doesn't even exist, keeping him inactive with mysterious back tightness, while the offense can't move the ball past 10 yards.
Playing, dude. Stop playing. So Shedeur went and said, "Hey, my back's sore."
No, they said they played. No, they say he did. They said he warmed him up before the. He went out there and was throwing the ball before the game, and his back was. It didn't look like he was good enough to go.
Dude, I don't understand it.
Yeah, man.
I don't understand it. Why pick the man if you're not going to even give him an opportunity or a chance?
I don't think it was his. This is what I'm saying. I'm thinking like the way that he's doing it, it was not his choice. It was not it.
So you think it wasn't his choice to
1,000%. The way that he's doing this right now, you don't treat somebody that you picked. You don't treat your draft picks like this. No, you don't. You try to look out for your draft picks. You like, this is my guy. We're going to get through this thing together. He's acting as if Dylan Gabriel was his pick. He didn't want them to draft Shedeur. We got Dylan Gabriel here. I'm going to die on this sword.
So who is he trying to put into the basement by not giving Shedeur an opportunity and making his decision wrong? Whoever that other person's decision is right. Who's above him? Who had a power Joe over there to be like
Andrew Berry and or the Haslams? But I don't think the Haslams.
Brady knows what great quarterback management looks like, and what he's seeing in Cleveland. It's a masterclass in how to tank a franchise because your ego won't let you admit someone else made a good pick. This is about to blow up in ways nobody saw coming.
That this dude is not throwing the ball downfield. It's either you're not letting him throw the ball downfield or he can't throw the ball downfield. Again, it's him or the old coordinator. Either way it go, I'm getting the same results and things aren't getting done. With you not wanting to switch and give Shedeur a chance, that means, in my mind, you're telling me you're not allowing him to throw the ball downfield. So that's where I'm at with it. But for me, personally, not being the person that drafted a 2 and I have Shedeur at 5, I'm going to give him a shot. Even if it's after
they drafted Dylan at 3.
He plays that, 3, sorry. 3. It's 3 and 5. Oh, yeah. I would have been made that move. It's too close right there. Yeah, definitely. I would have made that move this week. or worst case scenario next week. But I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not thinking about it. I'm going to be like, yo, you.
Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this for y'all. What's happening in Cleveland right now is straight-up madness. And when Tom Brady, the GOAT himself, starts questioning your quarterback decisions, you know you've messed up big time. But let me break down exactly what's going on here, because this story has more layers than you think. And trust me, by the end of this, you're going to be asking yourself how the Browns keep finding new ways to self-destruct. So, here's the setup. The Browns are sitting there with Dylan Gabriel, their third-round pick, starting at quarterback. 4 games in, and my guy is putting up a 25.8 QBR. For those of you who don't know what that means, let me translate. That's absolutely terrible. That's not just struggling. That's straight-up drowning out there. And the crazy part? He's not even throwing the ball downfield. Every throw is short, safe, and going nowhere. The offense looks like they're playing scared, and when you watch the tape, you can see it in his eyes. The confidence just isn't there. Now, sitting on that bench is Shedeur Sanders, 5th-round pick, Coach Prime's son, a guy who just won the Heisman Trophy in college and had every analyst saying he should have gone way higher in the draft. The Browns got him at pick 5 in the 5th round, and at the time, everybody was calling it the steal of the draft. Andrew Barry, the GM, basically put his reputation on the line for this pick. Owner Jimmy Haslam even said Barry stuck his neck out to make it happen. That's not speculation. That's a direct quote from the owner. So you'd think, right, if your starting quarterback is struggling this badly and you've got a Heisman winner sitting there ready to go, you'd at least consider making a change? Maybe give the kid a shot. See what he can do? But when reporters asked Kevin Stefanski about potentially playing Shedeur before the Jets game, his response was wild. And I mean wild. He said, and this is a direct quote, he's not thinking about playing Shedeur. Not thinking about it. Not considering it. Not even in his mind as an option. Bro, are you serious right now? And that's when Tom Brady apparently had enough. Now, Brady knows a thing or two about quarterback situations, right? 7 Super Bowls, played until he was 45, mentored countless young quarterbacks throughout his career. When Brady talks about QB management, you listen. And from what's being reported, Brady essentially called out Stefanski for letting his ego destroy what could be a winning situation, because here's the thing, and this is where it gets really messy, multiple sources inside the Browns organization are saying this whole situation stinks of internal politics. The word on the street is that Stefanski never wanted Shedeur in the first place. Dylan Gabriel? That was his guy. That was the quarterback he wanted. The one he scouted. The one he built his offense around. But then Andrew Barry comes in during the draft, sees Shedeur still sitting there in the 5th round, and makes the executive decision to grab him. Now Stefanski's in a position where he's got a quarterback on his roster that he didn't choose, and instead of doing what's best for the team, he's apparently trying to prove that his pick was the right one. Even if it means watching the season slip away. Even if it means the offense can't score. Even if it means his job might be on the line. Let me paint you a picture of how bad this looks from the outside. You've got Dylan Gabriel out there, and yeah, he's a rookie. I get it. But when you watch him play, something's off. Either the coaching staff won't let him throw downfield, or he can't throw downfield. And that's the million-dollar question nobody wants to answer. Because if they won't let him throw deep, that means they don't trust him. And if they don't trust him but won't put Shedeur in, then what are we doing here? One analyst broke it down perfectly. He said when a coach refuses to make a change despite obvious struggles, it's one of 2 things. Either he's trying to protect the young player's confidence by sticking with him no matter what, or he's trying to protect his own reputation by proving his decision was right. And based on how Stefanski's been handling this, it's looking a lot more like option 2. But here's where it gets even crazier. In one of the recent games, Shedeur wasn't even active. He was listed as inactive for the game. And when reporters asked why, the explanation was that his back was tight. His back was sore. They said they warmed him up before the game. He was out there throwing, but his back didn't look good enough for him to play. Come on, man. Are we really doing this? Your backup quarterback has a mysteriously tight back, right when questions are starting to come up about why he's not getting playing time. That's the excuse we're going with? Look, I'm not saying it's impossible for a guy to have back tightness. But the timing of this whole thing, the way Stefanski's been talking about Shedeur like he doesn't even exist, the fact that he won't even acknowledge him as a legitimate option, it all smells funny, bro. Real funny. And here's what makes this even more disrespectful to Shedeur. You don't treat your own draft picks like this. You just don't. When you draft a player, especially a quarterback, you're supposed to invest in him. You're supposed to develop him, coach him up, have his back. Even if he's not starting right away, you treat him like he's part of the plan. You give him respect. You acknowledge his potential. But the way Stefanski talks about Shedeur, it's like he's not even on the roster. It's dismissive. It's cold. It's like he's going out of his way to make sure everybody knows Dylan Gabriel is his guy, and Shedeur is just there, taking up a roster spot. One insider said it best. You can respect one quarterback without disrespecting another. That's all people are asking for. Nobody's saying you have to bench Dylan after 4 games if you really believe in him. Nobody's saying you can't give your draft pick a fair shot. But the way Stefanski's handling this, he's going out of his way to be submissive to Shedeur's existence. And that's not good coaching, bro. That's ego. Now, let me take you inside what people are actually saying about this, because the breakdown from analysts is wild. One former NFL player put it this way. Look, I can see both sides of this. You drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. You want to give him time to develop. You want to build his confidence. If you yank him too early and it doesn't work out with Shedeur, how do you go back to Dylan? His confidence is shot, and young players nowadays, they can't handle that kind of back and forth. Okay, I get that perspective. I really do. You don't want to destroy a young quarterback's confidence by benching him too quickly. That's fair. But then he said this, and this is where it gets interesting. At the same time, there are coaches who will stick with their guy no matter what, because they need to prove they made the right choice. They'll keep that young player in way too long, not because it's best for the team, but because they're trying to prove themselves right. And that's where you lose the locker room. That's where you lose the season. Facts, straight facts, because here's what nobody wants to talk about. What about the rest of the team? What about the receivers who are running routes and not getting the ball? What about the offensive line that's trying to protect a quarterback who can't capitalize on their blocks? What about the defense that's playing their hearts out just to watch the offense go 3 and out over and over again? At some point, this stops being about Dylan Gabriel's confidence or Stefanski's pride. At some point, this becomes about winning football games. And right now, the Browns aren't winning. They're not even competitive. The offense looks lost, Dylan Gabriel looks overwhelmed, and Shedeur Sanders, a Heisman Trophy winner who was called the steal of the draft, is sitting there watching it all happen with a sore back. And Tom Brady sees all of this. Brady, who's been in pressure situations his entire career. Brady, who's seen young quarterbacks succeed and fail. Brady, who knows what good coaching looks like and what bad coaching looks like. And apparently, he's had enough of watching Stefanski's ego trip cost the Browns their season. But here's what I think is really going on, and this is the part that should worry every Browns fan out there. This isn't just about football anymore. This is about power. This is about control. This is about whose decision gets validated and whose decision gets proven wrong. Andrew Berry stuck his neck out for Shedeur. The owner even said it publicly. That means Berry put his reputation on the line. He said, "This kid is worth a 5th-round pick. And I believe in him enough to draft him even if the head coach doesn't want him." Now, Stefanski's in a position where if Shedeur comes in and plays well, it makes Berry look like a genius and makes Stefanski look like he was wrong. And based on how this is being handled, it seems like Stefanski would rather go down with Dylan Gabriel than admit that maybe, just maybe, the GM made a good call. That's not leadership, bro. That's pride. And pride will destroy a franchise faster than any bad draft pick ever could. Wait, because what happens next is even crazier, and it exposes just how deep this dysfunction goes. All right, so now we got to talk about what this really means for the Browns moving forward, because this situation is about to get a whole lot messier before it gets better. And honestly, I think Shedeur's about to become the most talked about backup quarterback in the entire league. Let's break down the timeline here. The Browns are coming off a bye week. Dylan Gabriel has had 4 starts with that brutal 25.8 QBR. The Jets game is coming up. You know, the Jets, who just fired their head coach and are in complete chaos mode. If there was ever a game to try something different, to give your highly touted backup a shot, this would be it, right? But Stefanski came out and basically said, nah, we're not even thinking about it. That's not even on the table. And that should tell you everything you need to know about where his head's at. Now here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the part that has people inside the organization reportedly frustrated. When you're a head coach, you're supposed to be about the team. You're supposed to make decisions based on what gives you the best chance to win. But what Stefanski's doing right now, it looks like he's making decisions based on what makes him look right. And the players notice that stuff, bro. Trust me, players aren't stupid. They see when a coach is more worried about his own reputation than putting the best product on the field. They see when politics are getting in the way of winning. And once you lose the locker room, it's over. It doesn't matter what plays you call or what adjustments you make. Once that trust is gone, you're done. One analyst said something that really stuck with me. He said, Stefanski just signed a new contract extension last year. His money's guaranteed. So even if he gets fired, he's still getting paid. That means he's not worried about his job, he's worried about his legacy. He's worried about being remembered as the coach who was wrong about his quarterback pick. Think about that for a second. Your coach is making decisions based on how history will remember him, not based on what gives your team the best chance to win this season. That's wild when you really think about it. And here's the thing about Shedeur that makes this whole situation even more frustrating. This kid wants to play. You can see it. Every time the camera pans to the sideline, he's locked in. He's studying the defense. He's talking to coaches. He's staying ready. That's not a guy who's content being a backup. That's a competitor who's ready for his moment, but Stefanski won't even give him a chance. Won't even acknowledge him as a possibility. And when your backup quarterback was literally one of the best college players in the country just months ago, that's not just bad strategy. That's disrespectful. Now let me address something real quick, because I know some people are going to say, well, maybe Dylan Gabriel just needs more time. Maybe he's going through normal rookie struggles and Shedeur wouldn't do any better. Okay, fair point. Let's talk about that. Yes, Dylan Gabriel is a rookie. Yes, rookies struggle. Nobody's expecting him to come in and be Patrick Mahomes immediately. But here's the difference. When you watch other struggling rookie quarterbacks around the league, you can at least see something. You can see moments where they make a great throw. You can see them processing the game faster as weeks go by. You can see improvement. With Dylan Gabriel, 4 games in, and he's not throwing the ball downfield at all. Every completion is short, check-down stuff. And when he does try to go deep, it looks shaky. One analyst pointed out that Gabriel threw the ball downfield once in a recent game, and it was so loose that he threw a pick immediately. That's not a rookie going through growing pains. That's a rookie who might be in over his head. And here's the thing that makes Shedeur such an intriguing option. We know what he can do. We've seen it. We watched him dominate in college. We watched him win the Heisman. We watched him make every throw in the book under pressure. This isn't some unproven project. This is a polished, pro-ready quarterback who fell in the draft for reasons that had nothing to do with his talent. So when Stefanski says he's not thinking about playing Shedeur, what he's really saying is, I'm willing to sacrifice this season to prove I was right about Dylan Gabriel. And that's when Tom Brady's criticism hits different, because Brady would never do that. Brady's entire career was about one thing: winning. Not ego, not pride, not proving people wrong, just winning. And that's what makes great coaches great. They check their ego at the door. They make the tough decisions even when it makes them look bad. They put the team first, always. But Stefanski, right now, it looks like he's putting himself first. And the Browns are about to pay the price for it. Now let's talk about what happens next, because this story isn't over. Not even close. The Jets game is coming up. If Dylan Gabriel struggles again, and based on what we've seen, there's a good chance he will, the pressure on Stefanski is going to be insane. The media is going to be all over him. The fans are going to be calling for Shedeur. And at some point, even if he doesn't want to, he might be forced to make a change. But here's my prediction, and I think a lot of people inside the Browns organization would agree with me. Even if Stefanski is forced to play Shedeur, he's not going to do it the right way. He's going to do it grudgingly. He's going to do it while still defending Dylan Gabriel. He's going to make it seem like he's only doing it because of external pressure, not because it's the right move. And that's going to make it so much harder for Shedeur to succeed. Because instead of having his coach's full support, instead of having a coaching staff that believes in him and designs plays for his strengths, he's going to be out there trying to prove himself with one hand tied behind his back. But you know what? I think Shedeur is going to ball out anyway. I really do. This kid has had people doubting him his entire life because of who his father is. He's heard all the talk about being overhyped, about getting opportunities because of his name, about not being able to handle the pressure. And every single time, he's proven them wrong. So when he finally gets his shot in Cleveland, and trust me, he will get his shot eventually, I think he's going to shock people. I think he's going to show why Andrew Berry stuck his neck out for him. I think he's going to prove that falling to the 5th round was the biggest mistake 31 other teams made. And when that happens, Stefanski's going to have to eat a whole lot of crow. The media's going to destroy him. The fans are going to turn on him. And all that pride, all that ego, all that stubbornness, it's going to look real foolish in hindsight. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about Dylan Gabriel versus Shedeur Sanders. This is about winning versus losing. This is about putting the team first versus putting yourself first. And right now, Kevin Stefanski is on the wrong side of that equation. Tom Brady sees it. Analysts see it. Fans see it. Heck, even people inside the Browns organization see it. The only person who doesn't seem to see it? Kevin Stefanski himself. And that, my friends, is how you destroy a franchise from the inside out. Not through bad draft picks or poor talent evaluation, but through ego and pride and refusing to admit when someone else might have been right. So here's my question for y'all, and I want you to sound off in the comments because this is important. If you're the Browns owner right now, what do you do? Do you force Stefanski to play Shedeur? Do you let him keep rolling with Dylan Gabriel and see if it clicks? Or do you cut your losses, fire Stefanski, and start fresh with a coach who's actually willing to put the best players on the field? Because one thing's for sure, this situation can't continue. Something's got to give. And when it does, we're all going to be watching. Conclusion. Look, at the end of the day, football is about winning. It's not about egos. It's not about proving you were right. It's about putting the best players in position to succeed and doing whatever it takes to get W's. And right now, Kevin Stefanski is failing that test miserably. Shedeur Sanders deserves better than this. The Browns fans deserve better than this. And honestly, even Dylan Gabriel deserves better than being put in a situation where he's clearly struggling and nobody's willing to make the tough decision to help the team. Tom Brady calling this out publicly? That's huge. That's a signal that people around the league are noticing what's happening in Cleveland, and they're not impressed. So stay locked in, because this story is about to blow wide open. And when Shedeur finally gets his shot, y'all better believe we're gonna be here breaking down every throw, every decision, every moment. If you made it this far, drop a like and subscribe, because we're covering this Browns situation every single day until something changes. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss when Shedeur finally gets his moment. Because trust me, it's coming. And drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Shedeur or Team Stefanski? Let's argue about it. Stefanski. Let's argue about it.